The Southern African Music Rights Organization has announced significant revenue growth in 2023. SAMRO says it has also recorded a decrease in its cost-to-income ratio. The organization says the achievements were attained despite a challenging economic environment characterized by increased load shedding, which resulted in elevated business operating costs for most licensees. In addition, the collective management organization says its steadfast commitment to serving its members has yielded a significant improvement in overall performance. SAMRO says its revenue grew by 15.3% from 514.9 million rand in 2022 to 593.7 million rand in 2023. And to unpack this a bit more further, we now are joined by the South African Music Rights Organization CEO, Annebell Lebethe, and she joins us via our video link. Annabell, thank you so much for joining us this evening here in SABC News. I must say that looking at those records, it must be good news for SAMRO.
Good evening, Bali. It definitely is good news for SAMRO, and we are very pleased with the performance that we've had, and it means a lot for our members as well.
And when it comes to, what informed the growth to the numbers we saw in 2023, what would you say were the contributing factors?
I think it's a mixed bag of contributing factors in Bali. One is definitely that we've worked hard at ensuring that we collect from licensees who are music users. We've also just worked hard at making sure that from a cost management point, we are keeping costs down so that we can accrue greater value to members. We've implemented a host of initiatives that were aimed specifically at not only keeping costs down, but also ensuring that we are in a better position to collect from our licensees who are music users.
And how would you say, when it comes to your collection system, how efficient has that been? And maybe just take us through the process. How does the collection system actually work?
So maybe firstly, let me start for the benefit of the viewers, talking about the licensing process and the royalties process. So our model is a very simple model. We exist representing the benefit of our members who are the rights holders. So they are the owners of the copyright of all the musical works that SAMRO has the responsibility of managing and administering for rights holders. So we then have a responsibility in terms of the Copyright Act to firstly license music users. So for example, the SABC would be a licensee. And once the SABC is licensed, we would then collect from the SABC based on that license agreement. And once we've collected, we then pay out royalties through our distributions to our rights holders who are members who own the copyright in that particular musical works. So our system is very straightforward and simple in that we license a myriad of music users. So from broadcasters like the SABC to broadcasting, including obviously TV and radio. We license music events, we license retail outlets, we license restaurant, pubs, we license users of content that is specifically sitting with digital streaming platforms, so and that are subscriptions based. And we license anybody who literally uses music, because we understand that that music belongs to creators or members who are composer, author, and publisher members. And so that's as simple as I can explain it for the viewers.
And looking at this revenue growth, which was experienced in 2023, what would you say this means for the South African music industry?
Specifically for the South African Music Rights Organization, which I represent, it does mean that we were in a much better position to pay out distribution to members or to pay out royalties to members. It does mean that more and more music users are recognizing the importance of being licensed and for paying for that right which they have been assigned through our license. but it also means that it speaks volumes for a very healthy music industry ecosystem. That from the point of creation all through to the point where creators are then able to earn royalties through that creation that they've been part of, particularly for the musical works that then is assigned to SAMRO to oversee and to ensure that we are gaining as much value for our members as possible.
All right. And when it comes to artists, I mean, these are the rights of the artists. And, in the past, there was always problems when it comes to how they would collect, their royalties. Would you say that this is also a step in the right direction to ensure that, those in the creative space are also afforded, that right of their royalties?
Mbali, SAMRO has been in existence for more than 60 years, right? And obviously that in its own speaks volumes about the organization's ability to have serviced and taken care of and represented the interests of its members. So we take that responsibility very seriously. I do acknowledge that we have had shortcomings as an organization, and we've been working together with the board and with management and staff to make sure that we are delivering best value for our members who are the shareholders. And so it's continuously improving on systems, it's continuously seeking to license music users that are unlicensed, and it's also making sure that we are collecting from music users who are either infringing in terms of the agreement or not particularly complying with the terms and conditions of the agreements that we've had. So yes, it speaks well for the creators who are the composer, author members and publisher members. And I think it just speaks well for the well-being of the industry, and to demonstrate that, music continues to be a force to be reckoned with, and that we need to value music and the use of music, but more importantly, value the creators of that musical work.
And looking at this strong revenue growth that was experienced during the 2023 year, what are the prospects for SAMRO looking like for 2024?
Well, we are hard at work to make sure that we increase that. We're only as good as our last as the last financial statements or the financial report that we're just talking about now. So we never rest. I think it's every mountain, there's a new mountain. Once we reach that, and once we obtain the objectives that we seek to attain, we have to look forward. I think there's huge potential, and we're seeing it not only nationally but internationally as well. We're seeing huge growth potential and opportunities for creators in terms of digital revenue. So our focus really is about maximizing that growth potential in terms of what the online and digital opportunities exist for members. And so this is really where we're seeing the new areas of growth and focus, not only for SAMRO as an organization, but definitely recognizing that this is where the greatest value resides for members going forward.
And lastly, perhaps maybe if you could just, give a bit of advice to those in the creative space and in the music space, just on, what they can do for the 2024 year.
I think the simplest thing, speaking for our members again, is to make sure that you register your works properly with SAMRO. We want to make sure that we've got up-to-date information as much as is possible. If anything changes in terms of the information that you have, please let us know so that we are paying correctly and we're paying the dues that belong to our members accurately. But more specifically, I think the industry is really booming, and we're seeing the growth in terms of Amapiano and what that means not only for South Africa, but profiling and positioning South Africa as a major contributor to the creative industries globally, but also just what it means for young people who are participating in this particular genre of music. I think that a lot can be said, a lot should be done about providing opportunities for access to international markets. And really that's what SAMRO seeks to do, working together with not only our members, but also national and international stakeholders and partners to make sure that we are finding opportunities that sell and position South African musical content and South African music producers to be able to maximize on those opportunities globally.